is the rookie quarterback contract. And you are essentially, you're still, what happened?
Wow.
What happened?
So let's just take a time out for a second. I don't know. We're gonna have to add this to the Niners thing, obviously.
Oh,
I don't look at your phone. Don't look at your phone.
okay.
What did I say the Niners should trade for?
Jalen Johnson?
You need either a cornerback and or defensive line help. The 49ers have traded for Commanders defensive end Chase Young.
Oh, all right. We're definitely going to talk about that. I've wanted Chase Young like for a while. I didn't think it was possible, but like, now we have the Ohio State pass rush, but we'll get to that in a minute. I wonder what they gave up for him, but we'll talk about that in a minute when we pull it up.
First.
Let's finish up with the Raiders.
2024 third round pick going from the Niners to Commanders for Chase Young.
Third? We got him for a third?
How?
Say less.
How did they get a second?
Niners got a second?
No.
Chase Young's contract must be.
Well, the Bears traded Montez Sweat to the Bears for a second, which is a high second. But maybe Chase Young hasn't been that good, but I would value Chase Young higher than Montez Sweat. But whatever. All right, whatever.
All right, let's finish Raiders. We will get to that. I promise you, we will get to that. Fonzie, stay tuned. We will talk about that.
But the breaking news today for this channel, the Commanders trade defensive end Chase Young to the 49ers for a third round pick, 2024 third. But again, they traded Montez Sweat to the Bears for a 2024 second. So Montez Sweat was worth more than Chase Young. Second overall pick, Chase Young? That's insane. This is exactly what the Niners needed.
Chase Young. Oh, I thought we were getting Steve Young. I'm just playing. No, this is going to be absolutely great because, I was just talking about the Niners need to get it together on the pass rush. And if you put Chase Young on the opposite side of Nick Bosa, there were talks out of college that Chase Young was possibly a better prospect than Nick Bosa was. So they both played for the same school, and this has been like a little bit of a dream, or this is like a little bit of a dream scenario. Like I literally thought about, man, at least a couple of years ago, I thought this. I'm like, you put Chase Young on the other side of Nick Bosa. Imagine that.
I remember that. I remember that being a thought of like, man, how cool would that be?
Didn't I trade for Chase Young in like our Madden franchise thing just so I could
possibly
have? I think I might have.
Dude, with how bad the Raiders are right now, I want to buy Madden so bad just to do a franchise mode and like in my own head like turn it around. But yeah, man, Chase Young on that defensive line with Eric Armstead, who just had a great game. He had 2 sacks against the Bengals.
Finally.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah. And then you also still have Randy Gregory that you traded for a couple weeks ago. So suddenly this defensive line looks loaded, as it should be. And with the cap space, again, you guys had like $44 million in cap space right now. Not anymore with Chase Young, but you know what? That's why it's a third round pick. I guarantee you the Niners took on all the money for the rest of this contract, whereas like Leonard Williams, the Seahawks aren't really paying him much at all. And it's probably like the Bears gave up their second round pick for Montez Sweat because they're probably paying for or not paying. Yeah, not paying for Montez Sweat. So they have to give up a higher pick. Whereas the Niners giving up a third, it's probably because they're paying for Chase Young because they can afford him.
I think Chase Young and Chris Kocurek is a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm really curious about is if the Niners can somehow actually re-sign him.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Is this his contract year?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, man. It's all in, I guess.
No, that's what you have to do.
This year or bust. You know what I mean? Having to sign Chase Young and Brandon Ayuk this offseason is going to be tough.
The Packers get a third round pick for Rizal Douglas, and a 5th rounder from the Bills. Oh, I mean, to the Bills.
So maybe the Niners don't keep Ayuk after all. But I feel like they should have kept Ayuk over, like Ayuk would have been the guy to pay instead of Debo, in my opinion.
I think with a young quarterback, you want to keep Ayuk. I think Debo Samuel might become a trade candidate in the next year or two. Again, I mean, I could honestly see it being, Randy Gregory and Chase Young hit free agency this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if they get signed, it just means more comp picks for the fucking Niners. Yeah.
Will this fix Nick Bosa? Hopefully, but from what I'm seeing is even when Nick Bosa is getting opportunities to go one-on-one with offensive tackles, he's not making the most out of those opportunities, and I really feel like it has to do with the fact that Nick Bosa held out all of training camp and probably didn't work out as hard because he didn't want to risk having an injury this offseason, which would have absolutely, all the money he would have made, kiss that bye-bye, right? He's not going to make, if he tears an ACL, he's his value just like you cut that like maybe to 60%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Bosa will be fine next year or towards the end of the season. I think I see Bosa having a bounce back season next year, but I guess we'll bunch this up with the bye week. No, I think we'll talk about the bye week real quick.
Well, one last thing. Tim Kawakami tweeted from an NFL source, 49ers are closing in on another trade. I don't know who it's for, but it seems very likely they've got one more. So we've got 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 30 minutes ago, but he could be totally bullshitting. I don't know.
Hey, the Niners are that Vince Carter meme. I got one more in me.
Yeah, I mean, for all I know, it could have been for Rasul Douglas, who ended up going to the Bills. So
there are two players who I want to hear from that trade news. I want to hear that the Niners traded for Justin Herbert, which isn't going to happen. So I'll just have to do that in Madden. Or for a corner. It's got to be for a corner.
I mean, what about Davante Adams?
Okay, so you know how I just said that Purdy doesn't throw outside the numbers?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Davante Adams is like literally going to be like, I'm fucking tired of Garoppolo. He's like, this is what did he say on the sideline? He was like, this is bullshit, right? Like after Garoppolo missed him deep, he's gonna go from one quarterback missing him deep to like another quarterback. Like, I mean, Purdy will be money on those slants. I can tell you that. And there will be less hospital balls. I can absolutely guarantee Davante Adams that. He seems to be taking like huge hits every week. It's like, it's really like, it's sad to watch Davante Adams every week, but I don't think the Niners are going to go for him.
Yeah, no.
Unless they trade Davante for Ayuk in a pick. And also, what do I play Madden on? On Xbox. Yeah. Let me know what you play Madden on. Yeah, I want to see a corner or give me Justin Herbert, but it's not going to happen. Like, don't clip me on the internet saying this Niner fan thinks that they can trade for Justin Herbert. No, I know we can't, but I want to.